if we take that pencil or that keyboard, whatever, we turn it into something that's sellable, then I think we're professional writers. An author, to me, is just a professional writer. I mean, okay, you either get paid or intend to get paid what you're writing. Yeah, I get to a point where my mind's just had a frazzled overload and it just doesn't want to be creative anymore. You need a break, you come back, and you can write some more. Oh my God, this is something that is very personal to me because my first novel, Scattered in Savannah, oh my God, it's riddled with life in a cult. And I wrote about a cult, and oh my gosh, the Scientologists came after me with a vengeance. Oh my God, I have never seen book reviews that reached the maximum character limit. As a matter of fact, 2 of their reviews together, just 2 reviews, were longer than the first chapter in my first novel. If my books, my writings were the only writings that were available, it would be a very boring world. Oh my God, there are lots of therapeutic benefits to modeling a character after someone I know. My first novel, oh my God, that was about everyone I knew, including partly myself. So I would say absolutely, there's a lot of therapy that gets out in that. I was able to have a lot of resolve in my life just by writing the story. The most difficult part of my writing process, I believe it comes when in the developmental stages of my characters. It was during COVID, okay? A friend of mine came over to the house and he was looking at a story I'd written. And he's like, oh my goodness, you should be a writer. And he offered me a place to go sit and write. And to this day, I'm very grateful for that because it just has expanded my mind and it's been a great therapeutic benefit to me as well. Get help. You need help. You're gonna need someone to help to read the stories and make sure your continuity is correct. Make sure your verbiage is good. Make sure you're not leaving out details that you should be injecting into your story. I think having surrounding yourself with good people would be your number one asset. If you have your characters and you keep them moving in the correct order, you're gonna be fine. I think so anyway. Of course, the plot comes first for me. I mean, that's just it. I always think of these funny little situations or maybe a traumatic situation. Whatever I feel like, oh wow, that's a great story, I should write about it. I think about the story and then I develop my characters. I develop my plot and characters from personal experiences and personal observances. Whether I write it or not, that's another story. But it develops, and maybe I'll use that little story in something else that I write. Okay. Well, when I knew that the novel would come to an end as far as writing was concerned, when I knew that this novel is going to be published and it's going to have my name on it, I said, wow, I feel like a professional writer. Social media to me is something that I'm lacking skills in. So what do? I get Sarah Lynn to take care of my social media. She's awesome. Actually, it's all pretty fun to me. I like the publishing part just as well as I like the writing part. It's just all a great fun to me. So I think I'm in the right business. If you're an author and you want to design your own cover, I say go for it, if that's what you want. If you're good at it, you have to recognize whether you're good at it or not and go ahead and get some opinions from reliable people. Just like I said earlier, you need good people in your corner. So if you've got good people saying, wow, that pops, that's a great cover, it tells me what I need to see about this book, then you're doing good. Well, I balance the demands of writing and my personal life pretty good because writing is pretty much my personal life. I do try to keep everything organized where it's easy to find. Sometimes I'm successful, sometimes I'm not, but as far as keeping things organized in my writing space, it's a bit chaotic. I'm a self-motivated person, okay? I get up, I make my decision that I'm gonna do something, and I just stick with it. You know, a lot of people find that difficult to do. To me, that's one of the easiest things to do, because once I make up my mind, there's no other choice. The most surprising thing I've learned about myself during writing has been that I need therapy. And I think writing gives me therapy. It helps resolve a lot of issues. And I hope it does the same for anyone else out there that loves to write as well. It's an escape. I can get away, I can begin writing, and all of a sudden I have a whole new life. I have a life over here. The characters are my friends, my family, everything. So it's like to me, it's like taking a vacation, a very extended vacation. Yeah. All right, my style has evolved over the course since I've written multiple books now. To begin with, I was a little afraid to do certain things with my characters, or I was afraid to write in certain styles or really show off my skills very much. I just wanted it to be factual and anybody could understand this. And now I kind of understand that if I understand it, usually my readers will too. I could not write without friends and family. I just couldn't do it. I have my editor. I have my beta readers. Oh my gosh, I have my researchers. I have everyone sitting right there in my living room. And I love them. When someone writes to me and tells me they've read my book 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, and even more, and they're not trying to figure it out, they just love it that much, you know, it just resonates with me so well, because, you know, my novel, especially my first novel, Scattered in Savannah, is my life. You know, that is me. Oh, absolutely. I've traveled for research and inspiration for a chapter. I've traveled to help me to decide one paragraph or one fact. You know, of course, you become involved. You have to remember, like I said earlier, the characters have become my family, part, you know, an extended family anyway. The way I deal with fear in stories where I write about personal experiences, I always end the story with some sort of resolve. If I could meet any one of my characters in my books, I would want to meet Pops from Scattered in Savannah. 1, we have a lot in common. 2, I mean, he's just a really great guy, and we've experienced a lot of the same things. I just think we'd be friends. The best piece of advice I've ever received about writing is describe, do not explain. Describe, do not explain. Describe, do not explain. I think that's the best piece of advice I've ever been given, and I think it's the best piece of advice I could give to any author. Well, I incorporate feedback in my writing process if the feedback is coming from people that I ask for their feedback, such as a beta reader. And, you know, that's usually the only feedback I use for my writing process consciously. Now, subconsciously, perhaps there are some things going on. I yay or nay, who knows? One thing I wish people knew about the life of an author is we are very exciting people. We love everyone. We're very intuitive. We're very, we seek out, we are seekers of information. We want as much data as we can put in the old noggin there. So, and I think we're very beautiful, loving people. How could you go wrong? Right? My balance from writing about real life experiences and maintaining my privacy is pretty easy. I don't use names. I don't use names that would rhyme with anyone or anything like that. I just write, and I always tell my version of the story, not someone else's. The legacy I hope to leave with my body of work is love. I mean, that's the bottom line moral to every story I write is love.